Welcome, 8th graders! Are you ready to do some math today? I sure am. Look at this. It's going to be a great day. I've got a bear behind me. Got some water right here. It's going to be exciting, alright? But don't worry about that. Bear's friendly right there. Okay. Are you ready? Here we go. This is our problem for the day. And it states that our task is to distribute all of 380 oranges among 85 students so that each boy gets 4 oranges and each girl gets 5 oranges. How many of the students are boys and how many are girls? Good luck! Now this may seem like a threatening problem, but I can assure you we are going to figure it out together. Now, teacher-wise, students, you do not need to pay attention to this. Teacher-wise, this is the CCSS-M standard 8.EE.7a, which states give examples of linear equations in one variable with one solution, infinitely many solutions, or no solutions. Show which of these possibilities is the case by successively transforming the given equation into simpler forms until an equivalent equation of the form x equals a equals a, or a equals b results where a and b are different numbers. Okay. Now, students, listen up. We're going to first solve this problem algebraically. Okay, now this may be a little bit more challenging for some of you. A lot of you don't like algebra, but we can do this, okay? Remember our problem there. Key facts from the problem. How many oranges were there? Total 380. There were 85 total students in the class. And remember, each boy gets how many oranges? 4 oranges. And each girl receives how many oranges? 5 oranges. Okay, so we need to keep these facts in mind. I'm sure you've all written them down on your paper. Thank you. And now to solve this algebraically means that we have to use variables. Variables are things that they're a little bit scary, okay? But they're just letters. They're just letters that represent numbers. And we need to solve for those letters in order to find the numbers that are hidden behind them, per se. And so we're going to say that x is going to equal the amount of boys in our class of 85 total students. So if x equals the amount of boys, then wouldn't 85, which is your total number of students, minus x, so 85 minus the number of boys is going to give me what? The number of girls. Very good. Now that we have our variables set up, all we have to do now is to create a linear equation, which is going to be right here, this guy. Alright, kind of threatening at first, but let me break it down for you. 4 times x is what? That is simply just 4, which is the total number of oranges each boy student receives, and x is the number of boys in the class. Okay, so that's just our first part right there, and then we're going to add that to what? To the number of girls and the number of oranges that each girl receives. So each girl receives 5 oranges, and then remember, girls is equal to 85 minus x right here, and so we'll do 5 times the quantity, 85 minus x, and that's going to give us our total number of what? Oranges, which is 380 total oranges. And so that's going to be our linear equation right there. Not too tough, right? We can do this. All right. And here it is again. That's our linear equation right there. Once we have our equation written out, all we have to do is solve for the little x. Right there. That guy. And right over here. X is, but those both, they're the same thing, right? Because they're each the letter x, which is the same letter. Now to solve for x, let's start off by using the distributive property right here. And so we're going to do 4x plus 5 times 85. So 5 times 85, we're also going to distribute this 5 to the negative x as well. So it would be 5 times 85 minus 5 times x equals 380. And it makes more sense when we come down here. Okay, so 4x plus 425, which is actually 5 times 85, minus 5x, which is 5 times your negative x. Remember to keep that negative sign in their class, equals 380. Now what do we want to do? We want to get our x's only on one side, and that's going to be this left side here. Okay, and so how do we do that? We have to subtract 425 from both sides. So we'll do that, and we'll end up with 4x minus 5x equals 380 minus 425, which equals negative 45. Then we'll come down here, do 4x minus 5x equals negative x. So negative x equals negative x equals negative 45. Now, I do not like negative signs. I don't think you do either. Let's just go ahead and get rid of those. Okay, and we can do that simply by multiplying each side by negative 1. So we'll do negative x times negative 1, which equals positive x. Then we'll do negative 45 times negative 1, which equals positive 45. So our final answer there is x equals 45. And that's only the final answer for the number of boys in the class. So we already have half of it. And remember, if the amount of boys equals 45, how do we solve for our number of girls? Remember this guy? This one right here, 85 minus x equals the number of girls in the class. Let's go ahead and just plug in our x value of 45 into this little equation. And so the number of girls in the class will be 85 minus our x, which we found to be 45. 85 minus 45 equals 40. What is 40 again? The number of girls in the class. So the answer to our problem is number of boys in the class is 45. Number of girls in the class is equal to 40. And that's the answer to our entire problem there. Way to go, class. Okay, and now I have another way we can solve this here, okay? And this is known as the arithmetic method, also known as the guess and check method, okay, at least for this problem here. And what I did was I created two tables, okay? Table number 1 is this entire thing here, and table number 2 is this big guy right in here, okay? For table 1, what I would do is I would simply ask my students, okay, I would ask one of you to give me a number less than 85, because that's the total number of kids in the class, to represent our number of boys. And I remember Jessica stated, she gave me the number 20 for number of boys in the class. That's what she wanted to choose to guess. Okay, so if 20 is the number of boys in the class, the number of girls in the class must be 65, because 65 plus 20 equals 85, which is the total number of students in our class. Now, remember, the amount of oranges that each boy receives is 4. So we have to multiply 4 times 20, which is the total number of boys that we said that we were guessing to be in the class. Okay, so we have to multiply 4 times 20, which equals 80, and then we have to multiply our girls also. We said that each girl gets 5 oranges. So we have, if we guessed that we have 65 girls in the class, we said each of them get 5 oranges apiece. Multiply those two together, and that would equal 325 total oranges. Now, remember our totals for boys, which was 80. Total for girls, 325. Add those two together, And we get a number 405 total oranges. Does that equal 380? Not in my world. No way, Jose. Okay, so all we're going to have to do now is we're going to have to guess once again. So Susanna, she gave me a guess of 30 boys in the class, which would mean that our total number of girls would be 55 to equal a total of 85. And now all we have to do is we have to solve. So if each boy gets how many oranges? 4 oranges, so 4 times 30 equals 120 total oranges. Each girl gets 5 oranges, so 55 times 5 equals 275 total oranges. Now we have to add up both of those for boys and girls. Girls got 275 plus 120 for boys equals 395 total oranges, which I don't think equals 380 either. I'm sorry. Let's try again though, because I believe in you. Okay, now finally, for the sake of time, I'm going to say that Jimmy just took a wild shot in the dark and said that the total number of boys in the class is 45, which means that the total number of girls would be 40 to equal a total number of class students of 85. Now, number of boys, 45 times number of oranges each boy receives, 4, equals 180 total oranges. Number of girls in the class, 40, times number of oranges each girl receives, 5, equals 200 oranges. 200 oranges plus 180 oranges equals 380 oranges. What do you know? That equals 380 oranges, which was the total number of oranges that were available to distribute in the classroom. And each person got an equal amount of oranges there to equal 380 oranges total, which is wonderful. So 380 equals 380. I think our work here is done. Way to go, class. Wonderful job. My name, remember, is Mr. S. Sean Stathis, and I hope you all have a great day. Thank you.